From Idaho's News Channel 7, this is Friday Night Football.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome on into Friday Night Football, Week 7 of the high school football season. Tust alongside Brady, Frederick. This is where the games get a little more interesting. Playoff bids on the line. Teams trying to keep their seasons alive, not falling out of playoff contention. We saw it all over the Treasure Valley tonight.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of playoff implications tonight, and you can feel it in the air. I mean, the season's coming to a close. It's getting a little bit colder, and every snap just takes on so much more meaning. You can feel it tonight in our game of the week. Rocky Mountain hosting Middleton. Two teams undefeated in conference play. Hey, hope you brought your pink tonight. The road team would set the tone in this one. Middleton down at the goal line. Drew Holman keeps it, squeezes through the line, and punches it in for the touchdown. How about that start against the top-rated team in the state? That got the Vikings fired up. That got their fans fired up. They were out in full force, by the way. But Rocky Mountain, unfazed after that quick score. Check this out. You're not going to find a better passing attack in the state. Austin Rovig evades the pressure, launches way deep, and he's got a man in space. Jeff Thompson comes down with it. Almost breaks the final tackle for 6, but he does have his boys in the red zone, and I love the smoke that the student sections bring in. They're going to go with that same connection. Hey, Jeff is fast. He's also pretty strong. He can go up and get it, showing off the strength as he holds on to that one. It stayed scoreless for a few possessions after that, but here was the momentum shifter. Middleton in Rocky territory. They go through the air. It's Trey Broadbent coming in with the snag, and he pulls down the interception to give Rocky a fresh set of downs. They would capitalize quickly. Rovig turns, hits Cade Benedict. He makes a man miss, and he is down the sideline, slipping in for the touchdown. He'd go on to have a heck of a game tonight. More coming up on that in a second. I want to show you the celebration first, though. Take a look at the handshake, but how about the back-to-back spin? That's a new one. I like it, though. So the Rocky defense didn't get too long of a rest. They would come up with an interception, and then Cade Benedict would score another touchdown. They go on to win big in this one, 46-17.
Yeah, Cade Benedict, the son of former Mountain View head coach Judd Benedict, looking good for the Grizz, though. Hey, let's move along now, and we head on over to Hawaii. It's not often that we get to introduce you to a new player in Week 7 of the season, but this is Cole Froggerly. He's an elite rugby player. 2 weeks ago, he decided he wanted to come out and help the football team. Yesterday was his 10th practice of the season, making him eligible to play for the first time tonight. Tied at 7 in the first quarter on 3rd and short. He proves he's a rugby player, plowing over the defender for the first down. Coach Burton loves it. Then on the next play, he proves he's a quarterback as well. He launches a bomb to Antonio D'Orazio. That made it 14-7 in favor of the Storm. On the next series, check out this catch here by Ryan Brecky, one of the best pass catchers in the state of Idaho this season. Goes back behind his body, pulls it in, moves the sticks. Eventually, early in the second quarter, that drive would stall out, so Lucas Ruby boots one through the uprights for Hawaii. That put them up 17-7. Back come the Brave, though. They have a pretty elite QB wide receiver combo, too. Trevor Schoolfield connects with Jordan McDonald over the middle. A few plays later, his little bro would then answer the call. How about Logan McDonald toting the rock across the goal line? Boise pulls to within 3 to make things a little more interesting. Before halftime, Froggerly answers one more time, though. He connects with Mason Wayne in the end zone for the score. That put Hawaii up 10. Boise would try to battle back late, kind of their MO this season, but Hawaii holds on for a 30-27 victory, a big win for the Storm and their playoff hopes.
Yeah, that's impressive. What an impact at quarterback can make a huge difference. Don't count them out.
Man, couldn't believe it. All right, Bishop Kelly taking on Valley View, already up 21-zip. With about 30 seconds left in the first half. Valley View on 2nd and 10. That's Riker Oswald who takes the handoff, gets into the end zone. That cut into the deficit. BK only leading by 14 now. The Knights will then try to advance on offense, but, well, the ball pops out there. And how about this? Valley View ends up recovering. These two would trade defensive blows for most of the second half. Valley View starting on a drive here. Onyx Carson would get the pitch, go all the way down to the BK 28. Valley View would come up with a big 4th and 2 here, scoring to make it 21-14. That is as close as they would get, though. Bishop Kelly with a strong defensive effort down the stretch after building that early lead. Bishop Kelly in control of the 5A SIC at this point. They pick up a win tonight, 21-14 the final, and the boys hustled over from the field to join us live in studio. How we doing tonight, gentlemen?
Doing good, doing great.
All right, so kind of an emotional night on many levels tonight for Bishop Kelly and the BK family for that matter. Let's begin with it just being senior night, though. What was it like to play, in front of your family and friends on that field where, you guys have played for the last few years for that matter?
It was very exciting and emotional to play along with my buddies I've been playing with for the past 4 years. I've been a part of 3 of these now, and it's gone by so quick. Tonight was very emotional for me and my teammates. It was great that we came out with a victory tonight. It was a hard-fought win, but we came up clutch and won the game.
Yeah, not really the only emotional factor in tonight's game, though.
I mean, throughout the season for you guys, you have been playing for a member of the Bishop Kelly family who passed away. Can you tell us how much Coach Parker has meant to this program and how much you want to honor his legacy on the field this year?
Coach Parker meant so much to this BK community. Not just me, but everyone in this entire BK community grew up with him in their lives. There's that little kids Bishop Kelly football camp that I went to, even when I was in Emmett, I would go to every single year, and so many of these players on the team would go to it, and he would impact their lives tremendously. He was my grandpa, so obviously I knew him extremely well. He took me places all the time. We always went and got ice cream and had the best memories with him. It's been really sad to see him go. He was hoping to be able to finish out the season. It came a little bit faster than we liked, but we'll play for him. We'll play hard.
All right, what does it mean to make Grandpa proud tonight then?
Oh, it means so much. I know he was up there happy. I know he was yelling at that D-line for a couple missed tackles, but, great game.
I bet you he was. Wouldn't have it any other way for that matter. Okay, you guys are 6-1 on the season now. Do you feel like you're finally kind of starting to hit your groove? I mean, the one loss was against a really good opponent, but, do you feel like you guys are hitting your groove right now at 6-1?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. My coach was saying start off strong, start off fast. And I think that's what we did. That's important. And our groove, we definitely got more to improve, though. But this is a good stepping stone, and I think we're definitely getting there.
I mean, a night like tonight, you guys have had some dominant blowout victories. Valley View, a very strong team. What does it mean to win a close one and really put your defense to the test?
I think it means a lot. I mean, I think it means we can stay in the game and play all 4 quarters and keep them to only 14 points, which is well. I mean, obviously we'd like to have a little better outcome than only a 7-point win, especially because we were up 21-0 at one point. But I'm glad that our defense held on and that we were able to get the win tonight.
Let's talk about Coach Kulig for a second. I feel like there are a few programs in the state of Idaho that pass the baton from one year to the next when it comes to culture, like Bishop Kelly, one of the most consistent programs in the state of Idaho. Coach Brennan was there forever. Chris Kulig's been there now for a couple of seasons. What's it been like with Coach Q now at the controls of your program?
With Brennan, it's just all about tradition, all about family, and I think Kulig did a really good job stepping into that role and keeping tradition going, keeping the family culture going, keeping the community together. And he talked about that a lot, how BK is just one big happy family, a big community, and I think he did a really good job, keeping all the traditions going and everything going just as a community.
That was one thing about Coach Brennan, man. He held you guys accountable, and I feel like Coach Kulig, right on par with that. Give me something that's different about him, though, than maybe what, the previous regime. What has he brought to the table that might just be a little bit different?
One thing, I think BK has always been a running offense for sure.
Yeah.
And I think Kulig opened that up a little bit. Our offensive coordinator, Kron, is a 7-on-7s coach, so he's pretty creative with all of our plays. And I think that's one big thing, and they're different guys.
Yep.
Kulig came from Rocky, a public school, and it's kind of just different stepping into a private school role.
I remember, you go to a BK game and they ran the ball so effectively in years past. You'd get there 5 minutes late in the first quarter, it'd be like halfway over. The games would fly by. Now you guys are putting up points, throwing the rock around the yard a little bit. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. And you guys have a great benefit as we look ahead to the playoffs. I know we have to finish out strong against Ridgeview and Emmett, 2 teams that are red hot. How much, though, does it help you to know what it takes to be able to lift that state title above your head? And how much did that motivate you this offseason to try and do it again?
All 5 of us, we started in the state championship game, and I think it's very important for us that our defense and a few of our offensive guys have experience in winning the state title, and we bring in that role and we have that experience to share with the younger guys on the team. And every game and every week we treat it as if we're 1-0, no matter how hard the game plan is or what our game plan is. We always go in there 1-0. I mean, with our experience on our team and all of the new guys that have stepped up, sophomores, even freshmen, I think we have a really good chance of winning the state title again.
How much fun do you guys have playing football together? And how important is character for your team? A strong brotherly bond with the Knights for sure.
Yeah, so I think Bishop Kelly has something special. I think it's one of the most important things, the brotherly bond we have. Just everyone loves each other. Everyone is just together. It's just impactful for the family. So
I feel like so often we get to this point in the season and you never look over anybody. You respect everybody. I get that. And you got to win a lot of games to get to the playoffs. But I also kind of feel like the Bishop Kelly standard, like this is the point in time of the year where you really hit like hyperdrive, really kick it into gear. How excited are you for these next few weeks? Final couple games of the regular season before the playoffs arrive.
It's very exciting. That was our last home game senior night. Our next 2 games are away, so we're pumped to play those games. And hopefully in the standings going into playoffs, we get ranked higher, so all of our games will be home. But it's very special for us, and we're very dedicated to preparing for these next few weeks. And we have the ability to have 6 more games, and that's very important to us. We want to play as many games as we can possible. Our seniors had one goal, and that's to win the state championship. And that means we have 6 more games left, so we have 6 more weeks of staying locked in and being prepared every single week. And all these guys are all bought into the program. Kulik did a good job at, every kid, no matter what their role is on the team, they're bought in. They all have a role, freshman through senior, and they help everyone become better for every week.
Now, I don't want to jump ahead too far to the spring, but I know a lot of you guys do play lacrosse as well. Very common to play both sports, and Bishop Kelly in the spring will be looking to try to win a lacrosse state title as well. I got to give a shout out to my good friend Liam Finn, who is one of your assistant coaches, because he is getting married tomorrow. I thought we should give him a shout out. How much does he mean to this team? Obviously, he's going to make a great husband down the road.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, shout out my boy, Coach Liam. He's the GOAT. Always a good time at practice, just having fun, throwing the balls around. He's a great guy, great guy.
Hey, real quick, what time? I know you guys take this pretty seriously, so it is almost 11. You played in a football game tonight. When do you have to be back at the football facility tomorrow?
We got practice at 9 a.m., so locker room at 8:45.
After a win.
Oh, gentlemen, I appreciate you joining us this evening. We appreciate it for that matter. Get home and get some rest because, tomorrow's going to come early for you, I guess.
That's what it takes to win it all, though. You
guess so.
You got to put the hours in.
Tell Coach Kulik we said what's up as well.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Feel free to get out of here.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Yeah. Okay, hey, one team that you won't necessarily see on Friday Night Football this evening is the Emmett Huskies because they actually have a bye this week.
Yeah, that's a good thing. They had a very memorable game last week to kick off the bye. The team and the community did something very special before their game started last Friday night, giving one of their seniors his first chance to take the field and score his first ever touchdown. Take a look. On a beautiful Friday night in Emmett, there's no better place to be than under the lights. The Emmett Huskies have scored 33 touchdowns this season, but on this night, they're going to score one that means just a little bit more. Emmett senior Jason Greenman has special needs, and he loves being a part of the team.
He's a Husky through and through. He loves the Emmett Huskies, talks about it all day long, football, football, football.
He has his own gear, his own jersey, and for the first time, he's going to have his own play, drawn up just for him.
I can see it.
He's excited.
Oh, down, offense.
Touchdown offense. Yeah.
And our running back, number 70, Jason Greenman.
Right before the game, the Emmett offense took the field. The Columbia defense lined up. Let's go, Johnny! And the crowd roared as number 70 got set, waving his arms to pump them up even more. Jason took the handoff and trotted into the end zone. His teammates stormed the field to celebrate with him. The opposing Wildcats did as well.
Well, I mean, it was a special moment for Jason, but it was also special to see our kids and how they reacted to Jason and how they supported him, how they love him, and how they cheered him on as he ran across the goal line.
And this isn't the first time he's seen in-game action. He's gotten minutes on the Emmett basketball team, and last year, sank a jumper.
It's not too often that you're going to see a special needs student that's out on the football team or the basketball team or the lacrosse team, and it's just so neat that all of our coaches and our staff embrace these kids and include them in everything that they possibly can.
A commitment to inclusivity made this Friday night all the more special.
Why do you love football, Jay?
Coach Harkett.
Coach Harkett.
And gave one of the most important members of this team his well-deserved moment in the spotlight.
I really don't have words for it, and I'm kind of a chatty Cathy. I've been sort of speechless to think about the way the community's shown up. I didn't expect anything less than that. But people love Jason, and Jason loves everyone here, and so I feel like it's reciprocal.
Hey, this is yours.
That's awesome, man.
It was a really fun moment. Something I really love about it, by the way, is the Columbia Wildcats may be just as excited as Emmett was. I know they might not have known the full story, the full extent, what Jason means to the Emmett community, but they were bought in and celebrating and having as great of a time as everybody else in the stadium was.
Columbia's got a great program, too. Shane Williams-Rhodes on that staff over there. A fun night out there in Emmett for sure. Okay, cool. Moving along now. A fun night over at Eagle High School. CUNA making the trip to take on the Mustangs at Thunder Stadium.
Check this out. This was a lot of fun. I haven't seen a student section do this before. It was a whiteout with the clothes, but then they dumped paint all over themselves. Pretty cool. How fun is that? The game, pretty fun too. Eagle, 3rd and 18 in the late third quarter, so they got to come out slinging it. Austin Ramsey tosses a moonshot to the sideline. Zaya Wright catches it, and the Mustangs have a fresh set of downs. It would not take long from there. Ramsey loads up, goes over the middle, and Gavin Crawford has the catch, makes a man miss, breaks a tackle, and he is into the end zone. He would have quite a night right here. You get the celebration, but guess what? He's right back on defense as Middleton tries to answer, down 2 scores in the fourth quarter. There he is once again, making the interception. Well, CUNA would be able to hold them off to just a field goal, but Lucas Buchholz was able to make it and punch it through. But that made it a 3-score game. That's also how the score would stay, 33-16, as Eagle advances to 6-1 on the season.
Mustangs looking good. Haven't lost to a team from the state of Idaho this year. All right, up next, 2 programs kind of on different types of streaks. Bora entered this one on a 5-game winning streak, while Mountain View trying to snap a losing streak. Look at Valentin Gomez-Ricks here. A weight room run, 5'11", 200 pounds of force, refusing to go down before finally, like the, 6th tackler gets him to the ground. A few plays later, Hank Nelson steps up into the pocket, then gets out the back door, throws off his back foot here and finds Wilson Dent, who finds a little room at the back of the end zone. The scramble drill works to perfection, 21-18. The Mavs go in front in the third quarter. Now the Lions try to answer back, but on third down, Despain Silas gets home, rips down the Bora quarterback for the sack. The Lions have to punt. Now Bora would respond by forcing a 3-and-out, and then they kind of make a play on special teams. Mountain View can't handle the snap. Bora recovers inside the 5-yard line. The Mountain View defense was ready to respond, though. On first down, I mentioned Silas a moment ago. Here, he gets the tackle for loss. The big hit dropping the running back in the backfield. Eventually, Bora would have to settle for a field goal to try to tie the game. I say try to tie the game because coming off the edge here, Mountain View would come up with a block, and that would end up being the difference on the scoreboard. Mountain View gets a much-needed win to keep their playoff low hopes alive. They take down Bora tonight, 28-25, the final.
All right, speaking of teams looking to keep their playoff hopes alive, we head over to Donna Larson Park. Here's the Capital Eagles taking the field, Meridian getting warmed up. Both these teams have a lot of talent, looking to get a win tonight. The Eagles getting right to work. First play from scrimmage, Parker Dumas gets the backward pass, tosses it to Jack Smith. And look at that huge gain, flipping the field and setting up a score. They're going to give it to Marcellus Clay, who's been making it happen all year. And suddenly, the Eagles are up 7-0. A few plays later, Meridian answering back. Zeke Martinez scrambles, tosses it deep. He finds Cody Ray for the score, and it is even up at 7-7. Well, this game was kind of a shootout. Capital coming right back next series, getting all the way down to the 7-yard line. Marcellus Clay, there's that guy again, and it's 14-7 Capital. Meridian pulling ahead with a nice second half surge tonight, though. They go on to win this one 56-21.
All right, let's just fast forward, or excuse me, rewind 24 hours for that matter. Donna Larson Park, winless Centennial at Timberline, who's 4-2 on the season. And how about this? Idaho assistant and former Idaho quarterback Matt Lenahan checking this one out. Jack Brandt off to the races. 77 yards to the house. It's kind of a slow scoring game at that point in time, but that made it 14-0 in favor of the Wolves. And, well, there was more where that came from. Down inside the red zone, Brandt putting it in the air this time. And how about Hudson Lewis pulling it down for the touchdown grab, and it happened right in front of Matt Lenahan. The Idaho football team has offered Hudson Lewis, who's only a junior, a phenomenal football player. Timberline rolls last night, 42-10, the final of that one.
Let's jump over to Nampa High, the Bulldog Bowl, and the Bulldogs are taking on Ridgeview. Opening drive for Ridgeview. They rely on the running game, but on a crucial third down, the running back hits his knee on the ground a little early. They're going to have to take a field goal. So let's see what Nampa can do as they take the ball on offense. Again, tough-nosed running. That's what we're seeing a lot out there, but it would eventually open up the passing game. First big chunk play in the air. The Bulldogs sticking with it, and a beautiful pass over the defender, the wide receiver, perfectly high-pointing the ball here. First score of the game, in for 6. Nampa would go on to win this one 21-10.
Bulldogs get a good team, playing good defense, now over 500 on the season. All right, moving along now. Skyview winless on the season, taking on Columbia. Skyview might be the best winless team in the state. More on that in a moment here. You're going to see why. Penalties kind of an issue all night for Columbia. That completion was wiped out by a pass interference call. We go a little bit later now. Skyview moving the ball on the offensive side here, and check out the nice moves, getting down the sideline there before getting pushed out of bounds. A few plays later, they go back to the air. The sophomore getting it out over on the sideline again for the first down. There was just so much more of this when it came to Skyview. Kind of an effortless game for the Hawks. They were due. A good squad finally gets their first win. They moved to 1-6 with a 49-7 win. Man, I don't know how many times that's happened. We're an 0-6 team.
Yeah, that is a
wins by 42.
Heck of a way to get in on the win column. All right, let's stick in the 4A class. The Fruitland Grizzlies meeting with the Homedale Trojans at Dewar Bell Stadium, home of course, Boise State legend and now Chargers legend Scott Matlock. An electric Friday night, and the game starting with a Trojan march downfield. Quarterback Luke Henry keeps it on the carry into a big hit, but then he shows off his arm, hits Lucas Hall in the end zone for a touchdown. Next drive, hey, Fruitland always able to respond. The aerial attack led by quarterback Titus Vidlac, passing to Austin Tesnoladek. The running back follows up here with another dart over the middle. Spencer Tracy takes it almost 20 yards into the end zone. Then, after getting the ball back, Fruitland's defense comes up. Kevin Obot laying an extreme pressure on the Trojan QB to get the turnover. Fruitland's QB, Titus Vidlac, has his eyes set here on the end zone, carries the ball but falls just a little bit short. Not much of a challenge for Fruitland to score on the next drive. Ball back, Vidlac this time connecting with Coy Kaufman over the middle. He's going to run over to the pylon, but it's close. Did he make it in? Well, the refs had to talk about it, and they decide, yes, the touchdown would stand. That made it 21-7 to close out the half. Fruitland had looked dominant to start this game off, but then Homedale comes up with 3 unanswered touchdowns, and they go on to win this one 29-28. Wow. A comeback for the ages, and man, we're talking about a matchup that lived up to the hype.
Fruitland's the #1 team at that classification for a reason, I guess. All right. Let's get on out to Marsing High School. The Huskies taking on the Nampa Christian Trojans. Nampa Christian off to a little bit of a slow start on offense. They get it in the first, and well, how about a pick 6 on defense here? That's Dylan O'Brien, also the kicker, by the way, takes it to the house to make it 6-0. in favor of Marsing. Now, later in the first, we got to bring out the chain gang for a minute here. A really close call, but I think they end up giving it to them, I believe. Okay, now back on offense here for Nampa Christian, and putting the ball in the air. The deep pass is good. That's Pete Dice dropping the biscuit right in the basket for the touchdown. 12-0 in favor of Nampa Christian. The extra point attempt unsuccessful. Now later in the drive, the Trojans getting it downfield, controlling the clock. How about the run by Ian Johnson? Any relation to the Boise State running back? Not sure.
He runs a little.
Yeah, that was a 2nd and 16 down inside the red zone. They get stopped and they have to settle for a field goal, but Marsing comes up with a big block. Either way, it didn't necessarily matter at the end. Nampa Christian holds on to win this game. 19-14, the final, a close one.
You think they ever run statue left for Ian Johnson?
They should.
I mean, you got it, right?
I hear it's an automatic touchdown.
I heard there was a famous one back in the day where it worked out pretty well.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard. We get you around the state. We go down to Jerome. Burley blanking Jerome, 33-0 the final. Another shutout. Minico, 41-0 over Canyon Ridge, and Mountain Home 41-0 over Caldwell.
Defense came to play.
Right, slightly closer contest, I guess, but not really. Cascade beating Horseshoe Bend 36-14 the final. Rigby knocking off Madison 35-21. Coeur d'Alene and Lake City getting all the way up north. A defensive slugfest goes the way of the Vikings 17-7. Filer blanks Gooding 20-0, and then finally a little bit of a shootout here. Notice beating Centennial Baptist 76-36 the final.
You could say they put them on notice.
Good one.
We had to make that punt every year.
Yeah.
Once per season.
Yeah, once per season at least. And that, by the way, that's not just football season. That also applies to the winter and spring sports seasons too.
Of course, yeah. That's our freebie. I might do it next week. We'll see.
So that means that Week 7 is officially in the books, and a lot of teams, especially the 6A classification, that needed wins tonight were able to get victories tonight. Mountain View, Meridian, all kind of keeping their playoff hopes alive with big victories, and all of them kind of throw Owyhee into that bunch as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really cool to see the difference that Owyee's offense was able to make. I know they were very excited about what that they
we got a score correction in. Sorry, that's what we were trying to communicate here. We actually have a score correction. Our bad. Homedale beat Fruitland 29-28 the final. So sorry about that, but it's actually Homedale that gets a big victory over Fruitland.
Yeah, a big time win.
Scores
for them
fly in. Everything's getting updated at the last second. Our apologies on that one.
Heck of a game that they had out there in Homedale. And I mean, we're now looking at the two teams that were at the top of the 4A class are now both one loss, but Homedale does get the tiebreaker over Fruitland, probably going back into first place in the polls next week. Like we were just talking about, though, with Owyhee, what an elite roster that they have. They've just been trying to get the offense working. Pretty cool that you can bring a rugby player in who, I know rugby players transition well to football. Usually they're kickers or punters, not guys who can sling it downfield like that. So pretty cool to see.
I heard this story last week where they were trying to get him eligible because, again, you have to have a certain amount of practices under your belt before you can actually play in a football game. So this has been a process that's been going on for about 2 weeks now. And Froggerly was able to get eligible yesterday, his 10th practice the day before the game, and he goes on, and I mean, from the jump, his very first pass was a touchdown pass. His second pass was a touchdown pass. So it was a good start, and you could feel some energy on the Owyhee sideline, even a few guys saying, hey, I think we finally found our quarterback. And it kind of felt like they were a QB away because they do have some really talented guys on that roster. Ryan Brecky, Gage Haas. It's a
very physical defense.
Yeah, it's a talented group, and if they can score some points, I got a feeling they could play with a lot of teams in the state, and they got a good one next week. I think they take on Mountain View. So we talk about playoff hopes. That is going to be a big-time game between those two schools.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We talk about a lot of big wins that some teams really needed to keep their playoff hopes alive. The 1 and 2 teams, though, also still cruise tonight. Rocky Mountain with a dominant win after being a little bit close with Middleton. Middleton came to play, but they pulled ahead big. I mean, they have maybe the most dominant passing attack, not only this season, one of the best I've seen. They take up a lot of space, and they can get it to a lot of different guys. And then on top of that, they got a defense who has a nose for the ball and can just take it away from you. Eagle getting a little bit tested as well. Close game with Kuna, the primal way, almost being able to get it done. I'm real impressed with what we're seeing out of them, but I do love the parity we're seeing within the league.
Yeah, Kuna's got a brand of football where, I mean this in the most complimentary way possible, they can make a game ugly, and it can kind of turn out to have beautiful results for them. Not quite as beautiful as they'd want tonight, but they'll mix it up with any team, and they've proven that so far this season. Next week, Timberline travels over to Rocky Mountain. I'm really excited about that matchup. I still think that Rocky's the premier team in the state of Idaho. I think they got the best depth, the best talent, a couple of the best players for that matter too. But I'll take my chances with Jack Brandt and Hudson Lewis to go in there and make it a game, and Ian Smart to have his boys ready to go next Friday.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're coming in with nothing to lose, everything to gain, a huge opportunity, and that's why you go out and play any given Friday night. A team that obviously knows how to embrace that underdog mentality based on the incredible turnaround they continue to put together this season.
What was it, 1 win over the last 2 years combined, and they're sitting here in week 7 at 5-2 on the year.
Pretty much clinched a playoff appearance in the least. We'll see if they can end up playing for a district title, though.
That's a big deal for Timberline, too. I mean, a lot of people count out their football program at times, and we had them in here not that long ago live on Friday Night Football, and they're talking about how, hey, people don't call us a football school. Well, we want to turn this into a football school, and you see that's kind of what they've been able to do, at least this year. So
it's been fun. I mean, last year it was their friends, not friends, their rivals, but neighbors, Boise High, able to have their incredible turnaround as well. You talk to either of these teams, it's that they all bought in to a culture. They all had a great head coach that they could believe in, and they all ended up getting the best out of each other. The belief is really the impressive part that has turned them into no longer just a basketball, track, soccer, whatever, an everything school.
I love the spirit you see this time of year, too. Fans in full force. Met my guy, Hayden Larson, over on the sidelines at the Mountain View game. He's going to middle school right now. He's going to go into high school next year. Wants to wear the number 99, so we got to keep a lookout for big 99 next year on Mountain View at some point in time. But I love the energy this time of year.
They're going to let a freshman get a double number? That's...
Hey, I'm just saying, Hayden's a dude.
Seems tough.
I talked to him tonight for a little bit. He's doing big things in middle school.
I'm just saying, probably pretty big time if he's going to get 99 as a true freshman.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, what a fun week, though. Week 7, it's done. And so 2 weeks of the regular season remain. That is it. We know the matchups next week. Following next week, we're going to have to wait for the matchups the ensuing week because a bunch of those crossover games are going to take place at that point in time. And then the playoffs begin. So we only got 3 more weeks guaranteed here on Friday Night Football.
Yeah, and I do love that crossover week because you end up getting a good matchup for every single game, and the stakes are extremely high for some of the teams playing in there.
Yep, and finally, we might get to see Rocky and Eagle get after it.
That'll be,
which I've been waiting for.
To it.
I've been waiting for that battle. They play in opposite pods. They're not on each other's schedule during the regular season. Probably a good thing because they are on a collision course to play for the 6A SIC championship game.
And maybe state after that, we'll see.
We will see. Okay. Hey, miss any highlights? You miss our interview with the Bishop Kelly Knights. You miss our story on the Emmett running back, scores his first career touchdown. Yeah. All of that's available at KTVB.com.
Of course, and remember, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., Boise State is going to be taking on Hawaii at 9 p.m. Yeah. But in the morning, have breakfast with us, get ready. We'll take you through every angle of the game on Bronco Roundup Game Day. That's right here on Channel 7. Not on digital.
Hey, if you're not getting it ready 12 hours before kickoff, what are you even doing?
You're a fake fan, if that's the case.
Exactly. So wake up, 9 o'clock, Bronco Roundup Game Day. Brady and I will be standing right here to get you ready for Boise State and Hawaii. I might not move. Yep, that's a good point. Well, I got to go edit, but outside of that, we'll be back. Fun game, fun week. Everything's at KTVB.com that you missed. 2 weeks remain here on Friday Night Football. For Brady Frederick, I'm Jay Tust. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody.